Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Howard Yu. I'm the principal of One Academy. Today I'd like to invite you to join me to analyze some of this year's 2025 science prelim examinations from a few schools. But for this video, I'm doing specially for CHIJ Katong. And I'm not doing a live video of myself because due to the limited bandwidth, I want to deliver a more clearer explanation of my analysis than using my handsome face to distract you. By the way, this is my photo taken in my One Academy, and behind me is a fine calligraphy by Singapore famous artist Mr. Liu Kang. So let us begin with this first school that I will be screen sharing with you now. Is from this school, is the Tanjong CHIG Katong, and I'll be doing the analysis with you. By professional training, I was a former PSLE Science open-ended question marker. And this question, I will just breeze through this exam script and only will stop over at those questions which are more difficult and more challenging. So this child has answered quite well the first question, as well as the second question. She gained both full marks in first question in OEQ and second question. That's a good start. And this is how I analyze for students, be it in my One Academy or external student. So generally, I spend about 60 minutes for each script to analyze what are their areas of weaknesses. So I've actually circled for these questions because I want to commend to the student that perhaps due to exam stress, the candidate understood differently or she got confused with time taken with duration of water paper released. So you can see the way she answered, and she was quite careless. Due to the limited time, I will not dwell in these questions, and I just like to allow the candidate know that perhaps she was careless or due to exam stress, she answered this question wrongly. And this is the same question. So after analyzing the whole paper of this CHIJ Katong 2025 paper, this is my professional analysis. Okay, this question, this set of open-ended questions, personally, I believe is below the actual PSLE standard. Why? So I have three reasons here, three distinct reasons. Because only one question is relatively tough. That is question 37, the drawing of circuit diagram, which is a P5 electrical system diagram. And number two, there is no open-ended questions on energy conversion. There's no open-ended questions on energy conversion. And number three, question 39 is the only open-ended question on forces. And that question later we'll see, I believe, is set too easily. Therefore, a good estimate of a child's predicted 2025 PSLE science result using this script. Perhaps a child is from the CHIJ Katong or other CHIJ schools. I'm not sure whether they do share paper because in the past, besides St. Nicholas, which is a higher caliber student, the other CHIJ schools, they do share their prelims questions with one another. So if your child is in CHIJ Katong, and I believe that if your child scores a certain mark, you just lower by 10 to 15% of a current score in this open-ended script. I did not analyze the MCQ due to the shortage of time because most students are weak in open-ended. So this is my verdict. So if your child score in this OEQ, just lower 10 to 15% to get a good gauge of the score that she will attain in the actual PSLE Science. And also, if your child remains at current competency without any additional training, and you wish your child can score better, these are some of my recommendations. You can try the same year 2025 ACS Junior Prelim open-ended questions or the 2024 St. Hilda's Prelim open-ended questions. And actually, both sets are available for training in One Academy. You can actually contact me through this WhatsApp contact here, 8268-5299. So let me continue the analysis for this script. This is a heat questions. She answered quite well for part A, but part B, there was some carelessness in answering. So she lost 1 mark. And this is a food web diagram. She answered relatively well. And however, the marker did not detect the transfer error because here they talk about the population of grasshopper decrease, but the candidate wrote increase. So I believe that either the marker give benefit of doubt or the marker was not careful in detecting this transfer error. Okay, next, this is about animals adaptations. And I believe that students copied the corrections wrongly because here they say that after several years, air pollution caused the bulk of tree trunks in town A to turn dark. So town A to turn dark. So this is a black insect, right? So if the tree trunks turn dark, the black insect will have a better chance of survival because it blends in well with the dark color of the tree trunk. So say based on this information, what would happen to the population of both insect in town A after several years? So should be the population of the black insect. Okay, this black insect should increase. Okay, yeah, because it will camouflage well, and the population of the gray insect will decrease. So this should be the answer which I typed in red in color. Should be black insect increase, gray insect decrease. So I believe the child have copied the answer wrongly. Please check this with the teacher regarding this question. And let's continue. So this question is on material science, which is taught in primary 4. She answered very well, full marks. Okay, this is the only tough questions which I've reset to test students in my learning center. As you can see, I've engaged a scribe to retype the questions. And that is question 37. I've changed the name to Carrie. And this question actually is quite interesting because in this part, most students, they get confused by reading at the table. And this, you got to try and error. Those students who answered this very well, they belong to the top 15% of the cohort because this question actually is a higher order thinking skills, which I like to share with you. This student, how she answered this question and how she get mistaken by some carelessness. Okay, look at this question. Actually, battery was not mentioned. So the student forgot to insert the circuit diagram of the battery. And this is a relatively tough question. And I believe that less than 40% of the students in this school got full marks for this question, which is a 5-mark questions. For PSLE examination, there's only one 5-mark questions. So do take note. And this question is a P4 standard. Okay, I'd like to highlight to you about this protocol that's being used during my PSLE marking days, which is about several years ago. We call the Mark the First, MTF. Okay, look at this question. I believe the Mark the First protocol is not being administered in this standardization of the marking in this school because they say state the property. The means one. Okay, state the property of matter demonstrated by object A in the experiment. So the student wrote object A has a definite shape. That's one property. The second property she listed is and a definite volume. But for this question, if you examine carefully, it's only that the property of definite volume is being demonstrated. Why? Because at first, without immersing object A, the capacity of water is 20 ml. After immersing, but it's not fully immersed, it rose to 30. So it shows that object A has a definite volume. Okay, then you may ask me, what about definite shape? Isn't it the shape the same? Okay, for visual analysis, it may look the same, but perhaps this object A may have absorbed the water and expanded slightly. So this we can't tell. Even you use a ruler to measure the width, right? You can try that. You measure the widest part of this object A, see whether they have increased by 0.5 mm. So to be very specific, it's actually definite volume. Okay, let me tell you what will happen in the actual PSLE exam if they administered this protocol called a mark the first. Because the student indicated more than one, right? And the first one that the student or the candidate indicated, this concept is wrong, so she would get 0 mark instead of 1. This is called a mark the first protocol. Okay, do take note. And part B, the student was careless because here is actually very easy. Just put the word 10 ml, you will get the full marks. And next is about the steps in measuring the correct volume of object A. So I will just breeze through. You can screenshot. And I also mentioned earlier that this exam open-ended is quite easy because this is the only force question and is being set too easily. You see here, okay, name the forces acting on object P before the magnet was placed above it. So because there's this spring, right? So there's a elastic spring force. And because there's a gravity all around, there's a gravitational force acting on it. Okay, there's no frictional force. So it's gravitational force and elastic spring force. Based on diagram 2, state what Allen can conclude about the material used to make object P. So you can see it's attracted by the magnet, right? So it is magnetic. Okay, why? Because as this permanent magnet is put above here, it attracted this material. So it's attracted to the magnet. And this is a relatively easy question on forces. Okay, next, this one is about heat transfer. The student answered relatively well, but this part she did not because this is a key concept. Having a larger exposed surface area will allow the elephant or animal X to lose heat faster. So let me share with you once again the verdict of my analysis for this CHIJ Carton. So once again, this is my professional analysis verdict. This paper is relatively easy because there's only one tough question in question 37, no energy conversion question at all. And question 39 on forces is too easy. So therefore, if you want more practices, you can try other papers such as the ACS prelim question, which I have a copy, both the open-ended and also the uh, multiple choice question. And this is a very tough question for students to take note. Question 34, this year's ACS junior paper. And also some of these questions behind it. This is also another question on electrical circuit. This is a very good question, question 37. And also this part B. Part B, most students could not answer to get the full marks. And also for, okay, that's all. So this is 2024 prelim questions from St. Hilda's, which I have engaged the scribe to retype the whole questions for me. And this is indeed a very good paper. And this is a very good open-ended questions on food web and animals adaptation. And this is also a very good live application questions on the respiratory and circulatory system. And let me scroll through here. Okay, very important, parents who need to take note. About 10% of the PSLE science questions have been allocated for heat concept questions. So heat concept questions occupies about 10%, both the total in the MCQ and OEQ, they occupy about 10%. So your child needs to be well versed in heat concept, which is a P4 topic. And then also this water cycle is also a commonly tested in a PSLE between 8 to 12%, okay, 8 to 12% water cycle, both section A and section B. And this is a St. Hilda's paper. This is an excellent question on the forces in action, okay, gravitational force and elastic spring force. And you can come for my training in one academy should you need more training. And finally, they ended with a very good, excellent live application questions on forces. So I like to share with you once again, for parents who need additional help, you can contact me at the earlier contact here, WhatsApp me for more practices. So I will do a pause here. Okay, parents, once again, this is my introduction and my track record. I was a former PSLE Science open-ended question marker, and I was a teacher in Pei Hwa Presbyterian Primary School. Okay, these were the excellent result achieved last year by my student. There was actually one student, he jumped from AL6 to AL1. But this student, Li Jiajun, he has been with me for more than 1.5 years. Perhaps he fumbled in the prelim and he scored AL6. But I have great faith in him to encourage him. So do not be disappointed. There are also students who are jumping from AL4 to AL2, and this child actually qualified for Hwa Chong Institution. And also David, he did very well from a neighborhood school and qualified for RI. And even this child, she improved from AL5 to AL2 within 12 sessions. So these are my examples of the excellent track record of the students under my training. So for parents, there's still hope. From now to PSLE. We have about 4 weeks to go. And come Teachers' Day celebration on this September 5th, I've actually have block off time for students who want to come for the extra booster as early as 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. And also another possibility is during the September holiday, 9/9, 9/9 not Shopee Day, but the parents can block off the time from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. for extra booster coaching by me. So I will wish you all the best and do like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me do a short sharing of my YouTube channel. And welcome parents to my One Academy Science YouTube channel. I have 920 subscribers. I invite you to subscribe and also to view some of these questions which I've uploaded. You can see this is one of the questions, 2025 prelim, question 34, complicated circuits from a certain school. And you can actually listen to my explanation. And also, this one has hit a lot of views about analysis of the P6 examination from this. Hello, now is the time to analyze your child's prelim examination, and this child actually did quite. And also, you can have a search button over here. So if you just type, for example, 2024 prelim and enter. So I have analyzed question 38 of the 2024 P6 prelim St. Hilda's Tricky Forces on Action, and also this question 36, St. Hilda's prelim, and also very useful questions. So this is a very rich resource for parents and even for those who are financially challenged. You can actually get free tuition from my YouTube channel. You do share with your friends for those who are facing some financial challenges in sending their children for their various science tuition. And this very interesting video, which I especially made in 2020 during the pandemic, talking about fair marking in PSLE Science. It has achieved a record view of 416 views. That was streamed 3 years ago. And I encourage you to visit
Still
this.
shopping on other malls?
And there's advertisement here. So sorry about that. So you can reverse and forward to see these questions, which I talk about. Actually, it's a perfect relationship expression. She has clearly identified the 800 grams, and grammatically and logically, she answered well. Because if you see this context, right, we must be marking contextually as required. 500 grams is actually greater than 200 grams, right? So I mentioned about marking contextually. So this is a very interesting video, which I highly encourage parents to view. Just go to my YouTube channel to search under Fair Marking in PSLE Science Prelim 2022. So I use example of student script and talk about what is about fair marking in PSLE Science. So you can get some ideas of how your child should give the type of questions, the type of answers to examiners being deploy for the PSLE science marking exercise. So I'm Mr. Howard Yu. I'd like to send my greetings to every one of you, wishing you all the best in your child's preparation for this year, 2025, and even next year, 2026 PSLE science. So for parents who have child in P5, you must start to prepare your child's PSLE at P5 because in terms of academic toughness, P5 science content is actually more than P6 science content. So do give me a call if you need more professional advice. Thank you. Stay safe. Take care. God bless. Cheers.